earGROUND Radio. New voices amplified.
Hello, greetings. Welcome to earGROUND. My name is Mhako, and welcome to the platform that speaks to Africa's amazing voices. And today I'll be speaking to Africa's finest. Yes, it's the baddest.
Yeah.
ABX, NUTTY O,
extension.
the mustard seed. We're going to be talking more about that and a whole lot of things. One of Zimbabwe's international products. NUTTY O, welcome to earGROUND.
Blessings, man.
Blessings.
My brother Plot. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming, so we're going to be talking about a whole lot of things. I've known this man for the past 14, 15 years. Stay tuned to earGROUND, New Voice Amplified. We're coming back right after this.
Are you ready?
earGROUND Radio.
We came, we saw, we kicked it.
New voices amplified.
You know, my early musical days, I've not had it easy, just like everybody else. It's not easy to be a NUTTY O in Zimbabwe. It's not easy to be this kind of a musician in Zimbabwe, especially when nobody believes in you and nobody believes in your vision and where you're trying to channel your dreams. I've not had it easy. It was difficult. Many years of musical resistance, you know. But yeah, you know, I had to stick to what I believed in and stay determined until now. You know, to say I had a breakthrough in the year 2017 or 2018 or 2015, that would be very subjective, because the term breakthrough is subjective. Why? Because each project has its own trail, and each project impacts differently. So if you look at a breakthrough, for me, what I define as a breakthrough is a collective process of many projects, be it songs, put them together, combine their impact, then an artist gets a breakthrough. So I've been working since 2015, 2016, 2017. In 2017 there was a lot of noise, so I would say 2017 when I did Bugatti, when I featured on Chekeche, that's when I had a breakthrough. But to factually place the term breakthrough, I would say from the day I started doing music professionally, I did Kwanda Vukure and people responded. That was a breakthrough. Then you collect that information and combine it to make a one solid state of a NUTTY O. So the breakthrough starts from the inception. There is never a point when one gets a breakthrough, because it's a collective effort it's a collective process where you add all of these projects together to create what I would say a breakthrough. Necessarily, I wasn't a fan of Natty Professor, not in a bad way, but you know, NUTTY O was taken from NUTTY O. You know, at school they used to call me the naughty operator, the naughty outside. I was this vibrant individual who was always working outside the box. I was always outside. So they used to call me the naughty operator at school. They say I was a naughty kid. That's where the naughty came from. And now integrated into this artistic term called nutty, which means crazy, mad lyrically, mad musically, you know. But yeah, big up to Natty Professor same way, because I believe that time also I'm always misunderstood most of the times. And it's not only because I am a musician. You need to understand that behind this musician there is a great individual, and great people are always misunderstood. Great people are always misunderstood because greatness is not for everyone. And understanding is actually a skill, and it's not everyone who has a skill to understand. So there's always other things that get lost in translation. Because if you look at my musical journey and a lot of things that I do, they tend to come out very elusive, but very achievable. But it only takes a great deal of skill and a great deal of character and, guile to understand a great individual. Real recon real. And realness is good for everybody. Yeah, I've said a lot of things that I regret saying. Because, we all learn every day. There's always room to learn and grow. So every day probably I say wrong thing. And I've said things before in the past that I wish I had not said. Yeah. I won't necessarily say I'm a speed junkie, but I found an instrument that I could use to express myself. And that and a car is an instrument that I can use to express my lyricism. I would rather use a vehicle symbolism to express myself. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm a speed junkie. I just like to express myself using an instrument like a vehicle, a car, sport car, a speedy car, something like that. There are stages to this. There's a time where it's not only about you being an artist, you become an influential individual, you influence. So whatever it is that you say, or whatever views that you express are pivotal, and they can actually shape societal views, societal norms. So yeah, I believe that whenever I express myself, there are a lot of people out there who actually gravitate to what I say, to what I feel, or what I see. And that definitely kind of shapes up societal norms in some way. Because we, not only artists, the artistic side graduates to influence, and you kind of influence people. So whatever it is that you say, that's why I speak a lot, because I know that there are a lot of people who look up to me and they kind of gravitate to that energy that I give out.
Showbiz will never sound the same again. earGROUND.
Safe was a broad song. I involved everyone in that song. I had to tactfully involve every aspect within that song. We were in a COVID-19 situation that time, but then you would still see that it's either you're missing someone who has died, someone who's not around, someone whom you cannot access in that very time physically. You're missing literally your loved one, or you're literally missing someone who is doing time. Any point in time where you're just missing somebody, that was the essence of that song. But initially when I wrote that song, it was just merely a love song, and I just found that I had to incorporate everybody in the song and make sure everyone can relate and gravitate to it, so everyone fits in that song. It's not centralized on COVID-19 pandemic, but it's all over, it's broad. Anyhow, anyone can fit in, anyone can find their place within that song. My dream for the youths is to see every youth rise to the top. Every youth must accomplish, every youth must realize their goals, and whatever it is they dream of must come to fruition. That's my vision. My departure from MTM did not affect me in any way. My career still is indifferent to that situation. Or I would say I am indifferent to that situation. That situation did affect, didn't bring any negative effects. It was just a situation. It was just something that happened, and it only boils down to a situation that happened in the past, and now it's water under the bridge. We're somewhere now. To me, it means It means greatness. To me, it means validation. It means fulfillment. It fulfills me in a great way because who wouldn't want to be endorsed by Patoranking? Who wouldn't want to be endorsed by Stoneboy? Who wouldn't want to be friends or to par with those guys, considering the work that they've done musically? So for me as an artist, in this geography, it fulfills me, makes me feel great. It validates me. It validates my processes. It validates my craft. It validates my values and my dreams and everything that I've been working on. We all want to be at the top. We all want to go to the top. And the process is getting endorsement from those who have done it already. And Patoranking, Stoneboy, you can't give me no better example. It's still a dream. I wouldn't necessarily say I've secured a spot yet. It's still a dream. It's still a big process. But I can safely say I have embarked on the journey already. But, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. I would say I've made my first step towards that journey, towards that goal, towards that direction, towards that target. The target is Grammy. The target is Jay-Z. The target is DJ Khaled. The target is Hollywood. And I've made the steps, or I've made the first step towards that direction. And there's still a lot of work to do. So I'm still going to be putting in some work. But I definitely have embarked on the journey. My music is music because I believe we should never try to box anyone in any genre. I don't want to be boxed in any genre because I just do music. Music must just be music. And music mustn't be limited with genre. You see me? So I don't know how to... Maybe I would say my sound is Afro dancehall because I've been fusing African sounds with dancehall. So I would, for clarity's sake, my sound would be Afro dancehall. But in general, I do music. Good music has to be good music, and good music mustn't be demarcated by genres. Biblically, it says, as long as your faith is small as a mustard seed, you can move mountains. The term mustard seed is deep. The term mustard seed is very pristine. The seed itself, the mustard seed, is a pristine seed, yet powerful, as far as its qualities are concerned. It's a very small seed that turns into a big tree. And this applies in my situation. If you look at me, I'm a very small individual. If you check my posture, I'm a very tiny individual, but I have been doing certain great things. Musically, I've done big things in the music. You see me? And also the term master seed resembles faith, resembles my belief system as an individual. I have stood for what I believe in for all of these years, and I've never given up. You see me? Transformation from being a small seed growing into a big tree. This is like the stage we're at right now. There's been a transformation going on. There's been a paradigm shift in everything, musically, the delivery, and all of these things. So it's broad. And all of these things encompass in all of that. That's why I had to do the Mustard Seed album. It's a story. The reception that I've got is so overwhelming. I didn't even expect that kind of reception. I am certain that the victory is ours. From this moment, from this point in time, I also feel like there's nothing I cannot do.
Several albums told this year. What would you must have seen so big?
I think that's a question for the fans. That's a question for the fans, because they are the ones who made this album big. They are the ones who actually know exactly how they feel and how they see and, with this album. So I think that's a question for the fans. I just did my part. I had to create a good body of work, and I gave it out, and the fans responded.
So how are you ending before the segment due to because of the research and the album? We have seen scores of people from all over the world learning the album. How are you ending the segment before?
There is no such thing as euphoria now in my system. That term doesn't exist because it's not these things. I've visualized these moments. I've envisioned these moments before. I knew we were gonna get to this stage, and I believe I'm not even halfway where I wanna go, but I am somewhere I thought I would never be. So I am not moved because the journey still continues. The process has just begun. So I'm not moved. I am not moved by praises and hype and all of these things. I remain grounded. I know my targets. I know the process. I know where I want to go. The journey still goes on.
Let's talk about the Very Power. It's a hit song now. Tell us how it was made. You posted on Facebook that it wanted to be removed from the album. Is it so?
Yeah, we almost, removed Under Petty Power on the album because we had 60 songs to choose from. And, choosing song selection process is a very tricky process. Things like that happen. But, I'm glad I still stood with it. I knew what that song was going to do. And I stood with it, and I had to push for it to be on the selection. And I'm not even also surprised that it's a big song. I knew, because it's a song that hits the heart and anyone can relate. When I make music for the details. And for me to hear that someone was going through something as gigantic as a depression, and my music helped them to go through or to conquer that depression, it's very inspirational. It inspires me. These are the details I really want. These are the details that keep me going. Because when I make music, I aim for these kind of details. This is the trophy for me. This is what makes me feel rich inside. Because if I can change someone's life, if I can alter someone's mood, if I can get someone through a depression, that's huge. What else could you want? That's something that money cannot buy. So yeah, I love it, and it fulfills me. It completes me inside. Me having to do a song with Mhako and Stonebwoy was one of the most greatest moments in my career. And I cannot fully express how I feel about it, but it all boils down to this thing that I say, it makes you feel honored and fulfilled, like I've been saying before. The feeling of being fulfilled, because I know a lot of people who have been doing this and they're not fulfilled. I know a lot of people who've done collaboration with certain artists, big artists from different zones, but they're still not fulfilled. For me, this was a different situation because exactly where I wanted to go, exactly the people I've always wanted to work with, and I'm working with them. And these guys are giants, these guys are big, and these guys are giving feedback, and they are kind of reaching out and saying, yo, Nutty, we respect your craft, we respect your work, we love your work. It fulfills you, it makes you feel whole and completed as a musician. And I had no other option than to just deliver. Collaborations are based on energy. And collaborations are based on energy and maturity too, because between two people who are collaborating, maybe sometimes there is always someone who has a better urge than the other, most of the times. So, I believe an artist has to have some level of maturity to understand what they are getting themselves into. For example, I've done a song with Japanese, I've done a song with Stonebwoy. I need to understand my level and understand the level that I am getting myself into. So that maturity of just understanding how to handle yourself within a certain project like that would make a collaboration go and proceed forward. If I don't understand that, it's a problem. And that also goes deep into, if you know your targets, if you understand yourself, you understand what you're getting yourself into, you know how to carry yourself around that. It's an energy. It follows you. So collaborations are based on energy, and most of the times I've had collaborations with a lot of people, and some of them didn't go well because the energies now, and someone was immature. They did not understand certain things. Our targets are different. Someone wants the other thing, I want the other thing. So when you collaborate now, everything gets lost in the process because we are not at the same wavelength. We are not vibrating at the same frequency, and we end up having these stories about people not getting along after collaborating together, people colliding, there's this competitiveness that springs forth. It all boils down to immaturity, and a lot of people just not fully understanding what they are getting themselves in, and does whatever it is that they're doing align with their vision and targets. At the end of the day, collaborations must be done based on energy, and sometimes we mistake people's energy because some would fake to make it. Yeah, I would be a fool if I tell you I don't want to go for the Grammys. Why shouldn't I aim high? Why shouldn't I aim for the Grammys? Why shouldn't I be eligible to go for the Grammys? That's where I want to go. That's the route. That's where my eye is. That's the prize. Because, Grammys are there. It's the high end. It's the end game of this music. Why should I be doing music without any Grammy vision or, Grammy desire kind of, So yeah, that's where it's going. That's where the ship is going. And the ship is sailing right now. There is no beef. There is no beef at all. We all vegetarians. We all vegans. I'm not fully aware of other big platforms that haven't been endorsing. And also, I wouldn't have a problem with it if maybe there is another platform that is not pushing also and supporting my agenda. It's normal. I'm not here to be loved by everybody, and I'm also not trying to get everybody to love me, for which is something that is so difficult to do. I'm just a human being, and we all have different goals and targets, and we usually act based on our feelings. And when you're dealing with human beings, you're dealing with creatures of emotion. So whoever is supporting and whoever is not supporting, I am still indifferent. But I would love to channel my energy towards those who are supporting me and those who are showing me love, because this is the one I can actually use. I cannot necessarily use someone who is not supporting me, but maybe on a normal, convert that energy and use it. It's motivation. So overall, if you look at all of these things, whom God bless, no man curse. I really do not put attention to all the negative rest. One, I understand that social media is just social media. Social media is not real life. And I know that nowadays, and a lot of people have businesses on social media, and some people's businesses on social media thrive on walking over other people and trying to belittle others and praise others in etc. Anything, but social media still remains social media. But at the end of the day, the great are calm, the great are humble. Those who have it are quiet, and those who do not have it are loud. So I that's what I would say. Just like a light switch. Whenever negativity surrounds you, or whenever I see or I feel like I'm within a negative, or I detect negative frequencies, I just switch on my positive light. It's just a light switch. Switch it on and the aura changes. Don't succumb to some negative energy. I always surround myself with vibrant minds and vibrant energies that think alike, energy that resonate with my energy. So I barely focus on what's negative. I see it, I hear it, but I barely pay no mind to all that negativity that comes, because that's human nature. What's a human being? What's a great individual without negativity in the process? For you to be a professional, you have to be a novice first. So for you to be a positive individual, positivity is preceded maybe by a lot of negativity. Now it's centered on how you handle and which wolf do you feed. Do you feed the positive one or the negative one? I prefer feed my positive energy most of the times, and I pay no mind to no negative thing, be it on social media, be it on there are no differences with NUTTY O and whiskey. There are no differences, if you ask me. Maybe the only difference is geography. The only difference would be geography, but there are no differences. There is even room for NUTTY O to be better. You see me? There is even room for NUTTY O to be better. But the only difference right now would be geography. I'm from Zimbabwe and whiskey is from Nigeria. Yeah, man. And that gives me a lot of power and strength. I feel honored whenever I hear people say I am the Zimbabwean whiskey, because we recently did an amapiano song with Zandi Myers and Klantla. The reception has been dope. It has been trending for quite some time now. People love the song. It's a fusion of Afrobeat and amapiano, which is different, and I believe that kind of opened a different platform for me to pursue. We've always wanted to engage other markets, especially the South African market. I've always wanted to engage the South African market, and I believe that was the inception to that, and that was a good move towards that direction. And also me having to mix with people like Klantla from Mafikizolo, big milestone for me. I love that. I am a person who believes in gradual progress, so 5 years from now, you're obviously gonna see a different NUTTY O. Probably 5 years from now, you're gonna hear the greatest album in the world, maybe a NUTTY O Jay-Z album, or Kendrick Lamar NUTTY O album, or a NUTTY O Rihanna, or NUTTY O Burna Boy album, or NUTTY O Fireboy album. Anything is possible from now. But what I am so certain of is forward we're going, and higher is the only road. World icon status, Bob Marley type of legacy, Michael Jackson type of legacy, timelessness. I'm dwelling, I want to dwell in this timelessness, make music that will stay for generations to come. I want to be here when I'm gone. I want to be here when I'm dead. That's what I want to leave behind. I want to leave inspiration. I want to leave tools that will spark other people, that will change the world. That's the legacy I want to leave.
Showbiz will never sound the same again. Earground.